Biden hypes climate change as existential threat. Paris, France. President Joe Biden took the global stage in Paris, delivering a forceful message on climate change, describing it as the preeminent existential threat to humanity. His speech, which interwove themes of international cooperation and historical reflection, underscored his administration's prioritization of environmental issues amid a complex geopolitical landscape. Climate change is the only existential crisis to humanity, Biden declared, standing before a backdrop of the setting Parisian sun. The president's remarks were part of a broader dialogue addressing security concerns in Europe, particularly in relation to Russia's actions in Ukraine. Biden lauded the European Union's significant support to Ukraine, which has totaled over $117 billion since the war began, highlighting the unity and leadership of European allies. However, Biden quickly pivoted to emphasize that no traditional military might or defense strategy can combat the pervasive threat of climate change. We work together on issues critical to peace and stability like food security and counterterrorism, but the existential threat of climate change is just growing greater, he warned. The president's message was clear: climate change stands as a unique and unparalleled danger, one that overshadows even the specter of nuclear conflict if left unaddressed. Following his speech, President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden attended a state dinner at a nearby palace, with plans to honor fallen soldiers at a World War I memorial the following morning before heading back to the United States. The event was covered by Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy, who noted the symbolic timing and significance of the president's presence in Paris, particularly given the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and its historical echoes of past European wars. The reaction from the Fox News panel was mixed, with commentators expressing skepticism about Biden's framing of climate change as the sole existential threat. Charlie Hurt questioned the president's assertion, juxtaposing it with the looming threat of nuclear war and critiquing Biden's prioritization. "If you're going to make climate change the only existential threat, you need to just stick with that," Hurt argued. He expressed concern over Biden's perceived focus, suggesting it might undermine efforts to address other critical security issues. Lauren Samedi highlighted Biden's broader message, interpreting his comments as part of a wider discourse on democracy and global stability. Perhaps his message was fitting into a broader narrative about democracy in Ukraine, Samedi suggested, recognizing the president's effort to weave multiple global challenges into his address. Joey Jones offered a more pointed critique, drawing parallels between Biden's rhetoric and political narratives within the United States. He noted the frequent comparisons made by some on the left between figures like Donald Trump and international dictators, suggesting that Biden's comments on Putin could be interpreted as part of this broader discourse. "There's this constant comparison by many on the left that Trump is just like Putin," Jones remarked, reflecting on the political implications of Biden's speech. In an anecdotal moment, President Biden shared a personal story about his lineage, claiming a connection to the American Revolution through his middle name, Robinette. This revelation was met with amusement and skepticism by the Fox News panel, with Joey Jones humorously questioning Biden's varied ethnic claims over the years. "The guy's been Irish, Italian, Mexican, Puerto Rican, and now he's French," Jones quipped, likening Biden's diverse claims to the variety offered by an ice cream parlor. Despite the lighthearted banter, the panelists converged on a critical view of Biden's tendency to embellish personal stories. They questioned the veracity and relevance of his claims, with Jones pointing out the public's apparent tolerance for these narratives. "This man has lied his way all the way to the top of our government," he asserted, reflecting a broader skepticism about the president's truthfulness. Charlie Hurt, meanwhile, offered a rare note of approval for Biden's cultural sensitivity, albeit with a touch of sarcasm. "I was really impressed that he dropped the French pronunciation in France," Hurt noted, before adding, "I think it was coincidental." As the evening concluded, the conversation turned back to the main theme of Biden's speech. The president's forceful advocacy for climate action, set against the backdrop of a war-torn Ukraine and historical reflections on global conflicts, painted a picture of an administration deeply committed to addressing what it views as the paramount challenge of our time. Yet, the mixed reactions from the Fox News panel underscored the contentious and polarized nature of this issue, both within the United States and on the international stage. In summary, President Biden's Paris speech amplified his administration's urgent call to combat climate change, framing it as the foremost existential threat to humanity. While his message aimed to rally international cooperation, it also sparked debate over the prioritization of global threats and the authenticity of political narratives. As Biden continues to champion climate action, the dialogue around environmental policy, security, and leadership remains a critical and contested space in the global arena.